BRT beefs why some Saskatoon businesses are not entirely on board with rapid transit. Safety under scrutiny, the precautions in place following a fiery attack at a Saskatoon school. And paramedic burnout, what's forcing emergency responders out of the field.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight in downtown Saskatoon, where businesses are raising concern about major changes as part of the city's bus rapid transit plan. As Keenan Sorokon reports, they're asking the city to pump the brakes for now.
Saskatoon's new bus rapid transit plan is turning out to be a little too rapid for downtown businesses.
This will affect hundreds of businesses in our downtown in regards to not being able to get into our district.
When Link launches in 2028, First Avenue will look different. Traffic will flow in one direction each way from 20th to 24th Street. There will be 2 dedicated bus lanes in the center with concrete platforms built throughout to accommodate the 3 Link lines that will meet on First Avenue. Left turn lanes will also be eliminated on 21st and 23rd Street, and more than 60 parking spots will be removed to make way.
We're not here to oppose transit improvements. That's not what it's about. What we're here to ensure that the voices of the business community that are being impacted the most are being heard.
The 2 business associations, representing roughly 1,700 businesses, are questioning the city's methods to come to these decisions. In the fall, the city found parking was underutilized with peak occupancy below 50% and plenty of available parking on nearby streets. But Nelson says the city studied parking on a Wednesday and Saturday in August, when many are out of town.
It's those things that seem really logical, that just seem to have been done in a way that just makes sense to just a general person.
They feel businesses weren't consulted, and now a crucial April meeting quickly approaches to finalize the First Avenue plan.
1,700 businesses between the 2 of us that we represent, and yet our voice, if there's 3 people speaking on a position that has a different opinion than ours does, we're outvoted 3-2. And where's the sense in that?
The city says it has been meeting with the NSBA and downtown Saskatoon throughout this process and will continue to do so moving forward, as businesses here are worried some people may avoid parts of downtown altogether. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatoon Public School Division says it's implemented better safety precautions following a violent attack at a Saskatoon high school. CTV's Laura Woodward now on the changes.
This is an anonymous reporting tool students can use to flag concerns like bullying, vandalism, self-harm, and gang activity. It's one of the ways the Saskatoon Public School Division is ramping up its safety protocols following the 2024 attack, where a teen girl poured gasoline on her classmate and set her on fire. Court heard she became obsessed with the victim and her best friend, contacting them through multiple phone numbers and social media accounts. The victim's family and the parents of her best friend, who cannot be identified under a publication ban, say they raised concerns with the school and police before the attack.
The need for change is urgent. Until this government and the school division divide proper attention and resources to understanding the frequency and magnitude of the violence in our schools, events like this will continue.
In the aftermath of the arson attack, Saskatoon Public Schools commissioned an independent review. It found gaps in threat assessment, discipline, and communication. In response, the division says it strengthened safety planning with clearer discipline expectations, more consistent documentation, and improved information sharing. Principals and vice principals have received additional training to better assess violent risks. And a new team has been created to support staff after traumatic incidents. At Evan Hardy, more counseling supports have been added for staff and students, and communication with families has increased. The province says it's working with school boards and the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation to help address violence in classrooms. The Saskatoon Police Service says officers are present in 104 schools across the city. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon teenager has been charged in connection to the city's latest homicide. At about 12:30 Saturday morning, emergency crews were called to the 900 block of 22nd Street West, where a 49-year-old man had been shot. The victim was taken to hospital but died of his injuries. Police have now charged a 17-year-old boy with second-degree murder, use of a firearm while committing an indictable offense, and possession of a firearm while prohibited. The victim's identity has not been released. A Saskatoon man has been charged with child exploitation offenses following an investigation that began late last year. Police say in December, Waskesiu RCMP started looking into a man believed to have a child sexual abuse material and exploitation material. The Saskatchewan ICE unit was called in to help investigate, with an electronic device being seized. As a result, 30-year-old Daylong John Bird was charged on Friday with possessing and accessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. He was released on conditions and is expected to be back in court next month. Charges will not be laid following an incident on a Saskatchewan First Nation that saw a teenager seriously injured after being hit by a police vehicle. It happened the night of April 8th, 2025, when Punashai RCMP were called to what was reported as a shootout at a home on the Kawakatus First Nation in southeastern Saskatchewan. A report by the Serious Incident Response Team says 2 police vehicles responded. The first one was flagged down by the teen who was waving his arms in the ditch. The person stepped onto the road to talk to the first officer, who was asking if he was hurt. The second vehicle approached at a high speed and was not able to stop in time, hitting the teen while swerving to avoid the first vehicle. CERT says the speed was warranted in the context of the call they were responding to, and that dust and emergency lights obscured brake lights for the first vehicle. RCMP are looking for a suspicious person believed to have been carrying a gun near a high school in North Battleford this afternoon. At about 3:30, Battleford's RCMP were called to North Battleford Comprehensive High School. The school activated lockdown procedures as an RCMP liaison officer was already on scene. The lockdown has since been lifted and police released students from the school. Officers are looking for the suspicious person. He was wearing a white hoodie and black pants. Anyone with information is asked to contact RCMP. Some paramedics in Saskatoon say the system is at a breaking point, facing burnout, staffing shortages, and long wait times for patients. Now, with contract talks ongoing and a strike mandate in place, many are speaking out about why they're leaving the job. Carla Shinkaruk explains.
The number of paramedics who have walked away from the profession in Saskatoon in recent years is a substantial one. According to the Saskatoon Paramedic Association, nearly half of the people working as a paramedic in 2021 have since left the industry. Karen Babinski is one of those who left this past May.
The job doesn't love you back, and while we're caring for our patients, we're not being cared for by the industry.
After 12 years as a paramedic, she left long before she intended.
It's not a sustainable career with the current industry model.
Paramedics are preparing for more talks with their employer this April. After all members voted in favor of a strike vote, the Saskatoon Paramedic Association calls the situation unacceptable.
That strike vote that we held was a pretty, it's damning evidence, of how our members are feeling.
The average paramedic lasts about 3 years on the job.
People are getting the answer of we have nobody to send, and there are people waiting 6, 7, 8 plus hours. And this isn't being, taken seriously.
Among their concerns, more recovery time between calls. Right now, they get just 45 minutes even after responding to traumatic emergencies. Workers have been without a contract for 2 years while dealing with staff shortages, rising call volumes, and a lack of mental health supports. Medivie Health Services West, which runs paramedic services in Saskatoon, declined an on-camera interview due to ongoing negotiations, but said in a statement, "We remain focused on providing safe, reliable emergency medical services for the region we serve." Even in a strike situation, paramedics would still respond to emergency calls. Babinski, meanwhile, says it's all disheartening.
As people that get into this industry because we care so much and we want to be of service to people, we feel personally that we're failing the public.
The Paramedic Association hopes upcoming talks will be positive for the sake of employees and public safety. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatoon Fire Department has launched a new dispatch service.
1, ladder 8, rescue 3, battery 1, heavy plane, spot on fire tunnel.
The computer-aided dispatch, or CAD, includes a new interface which helps dispatchers access information faster. The new system uses data from an internet-based platform, replacing the previous system that relied on data from telephones. The fire department says the new software is expected to significantly improve its ability to respond to emergencies.
Residents won't notice any change. This is all back-end stuff for the fire department. They will notice, though, I think, improved response, a quicker response, and the ability for fire crews to have more situational awareness when they arrive on scene.
Saskatoon is now one of 40 departments across North America to use this technology. Repairs to the University Bridge are now complete following a fire last week that resulted in traffic restrictions. On March 8th, the human-caused fire was ignited on the structure that left a sanitary sewer pipe underneath damaged. For the last several days, the westbound curb lane into downtown was restricted to allow crews to fix the piping. That work is now complete, with road restrictions being removed this evening. The city says tomorrow, after rush hour, that same curb lane will be briefly restricted so workers can remove a temporary bypass pipe that is on the north walkway. Traffic and walkway restrictions are expected to be lifted by tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, work has begun to repair the overpass over Highway 11 at the southern edge of the city. Crews began to address the damage caused earlier this month when a semi hauling heavy equipment that was too high for the overpass hit the structure. During the repair phase, which is expected to take 4 weeks to complete, northbound traffic on Highway 11 will be reduced to 1 lane. Highway 16 eastbound traffic will remain reduced to a single lane. The ramps on the overpass will remain open. And repairs on Saskatoon's overpass come as an overpass in southern Saskatchewan has also been hit. A semi carrying an excavator traveling south on Highway 39 hit the overpass along the Trans-Canada Highway east of Moose Jaw yesterday. No one was injured. The Ministry of Highways says the structure did not sustain any significant damage, and it will determine what kind of repairs will be necessary. Traffic is not being impacted at this time. As the temperatures climb this week, the city is advising residents to look for the impact of the snowmelts. It says crews are watching areas prone to drainage issues and will be clearing key drainage routes in advance. But it says if temperatures remain above zero overnight, drainage problems can become a problem. It's asking residents that if they notice water pooling on their street and they suspect a catch basin is blocked, that they try to clear it themselves if it's safe to do so. If not, they should contact the city. Property owners should also make sure melting water flow is directed away from homes and buildings. And with the thaw, we will see more potholes. The city is reminding residents that they can report them on the Report a Pothole map online. Crews will be doing some temporary fixes until the weather warms up further. Well, the luck of the Irish is being celebrated this St. Patrick's Day, and Jeff joins us from O'Shea's Irish Pub, where the party is sounding like it's underway. Jeff?
Oh, it's been underway since about 9:30 this morning. They had a big fundraiser for the Saskatoon City Hospital Foundation. This place is packed, and not a surprise on St. Patrick's Day. I don't know what they served here at O'Shea's this morning, but I know I started my day off with a bowl of frosted Lucky Charms, swimming in Guinness. Well, it's maybe not, but we have a lot of things going on here tonight. We're going to talk to some of the patrons. We'll also talk to the people who own this lovely establishment and get a sense of why this tradition has been going on here in this particular location for 24 years, and it has always been a lot of fun to be around. So we will check in with you a little later on, and we'll find out a little bit more. Woohoo!
The Saskatchewan government will bring forward its new provincial budget tomorrow. The province says it's built to protect Saskatchewan residents from global economic uncertainty with a focus on cost of living and health care. Here is Wayne Mantika with what we know.
Finance Minister Jim Reiter will forego the long-standing tradition of wearing new shoes on Budget Day. Instead, he will shine up the pair that he wore last year and apply some shoe protector. It's in keeping with the theme of the new provincial budget.
You're going to see measures that the government's taking to help Saskatchewan citizens through geopolitical stresses around the world.
The budget will focus on two key areas.
But the two kind of ones that everybody keeps coming back to, it's affordability issues and it's healthcare issues. So you're going to see that being the focus of the speech.
Previously, the Premier predicted a deficit budget and now says it's to protect services.
But it's very much an effort to protect Saskatchewan services. We've talked about healthcare services with our Patients First plan and, delivering and focusing on delivering the right care in the right place at the right time.
The biggest budget variable could be oil revenue. The recent spike at the pumps will mean more money for the province, which the NDP feel should be returned to motorists.
We're calling for a break when it comes to the PST applied to fuel in the province. This is something that the government can do to show people that they understand how hard they're struggling.
The finance minister says he took the best advice possible in preparing his budget and believes the government is making the best call that it can. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The Canadian Medical Association is applying for intervenor status when Saskatchewan's Parents' Bill of Rights, also known as the Pronoun Law, goes before the Supreme Court. The law prevents children under the age of 16 from changing their names or pronouns at school without their parents' permission. The CMA said the decision will have far-reaching impacts for future health care and rights-based advocacy, due in part to the provincial government enacting the notwithstanding clause to protect the law from legal challenges. 4 other provincial governments and the federal government are already interveners in the case, with other applications from 8 other groups. The city of Prince Albert is selling 22 lots in the east end of town. The goal is to develop them into housing. Jasmine Pelche reports.
In an area that typically sees only 2 or 3 residential lot sales per year, the city of Prince Albert expects a jump in development. On Monday night, City Council decided to proceed with the Saskatoon company's offer on 22 lots in an upscale neighborhood.
I'm moving 2 properties, 3 properties at a time, so this is great to see 22. However, I have a couple questions.
Following a question period with city administration, council voted to approve the sale of 22 vacant lots on Hadley Road to Pollock Homes for the company to build single-family housing. Per this agreement, development on 5 of the lots is slated to begin this year. The offer says half the payment will be made on the lots when the development permit is issued, and the rest will be settled when the property is sold. Pollock Homes agreed to pay any outstanding balance by the end of May 2031.
So there's a bit of a balance in here, and I'm putting some faith in the fact that we've done our homework, that this is a good builder who's going to produce what he says he's going to do.
Councillors voiced concern that this sale might take opportunities away from other companies and delay development in the area. Administration says the city has the opportunity to take back the lots at any time if the agreement is not upheld.
This is nothing but positive for our city. We're going to see some growth. I think the energy is arriving in our city, and when we see deals like this, people are starting to feel it.
Administration says it reached out to other developers, and Pollock Homes was the only one that showed interest. CTV has reached out to Pollock Homes. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Plain Lake is one of the finalists in the Craft Hockeyville contest, earning $50,000 for arena upgrades. The town is competing against other provinces and territories for the chance to host an NHL game in their community and an additional $250,000 to fix up the local rink. Judges will choose the top 2 finalists on Saturday. Then Canadians can vote for the winner between Friday, April 3rd and Saturday, April 4th. The Craft Hockeyville Grand Prize winner will be announced April 4th. Still to come, we'll take you back to O'Shea's, where Jeff is taking in the luck of the Irish. Also, who Israel says it has killed in overnight airstrikes. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was hit by rocket and drone attacks again today after a series of strikes hit the same area earlier in the day. Iran continued to attack neighboring countries housing U.S. installations. And Israel announced airstrikes overnight had killed more high-ranking Iranian officials. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Iran
Iran kept up its drone strikes overnight with a wave of attacks targeting the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. One of the most intense since this war began, with security officials saying at least 5 drones were used. Countries in the Gulf were also targeted. Authorities in the United Arab Emirates say 10 ballistic missiles and 45 drones launched from Iran were intercepted. While in Israel, an Iranian missile caused damage in the central part of the country. Despite more than 2 weeks of bombardment, Iran continues to target so-called enemy countries, though the tempo of those strikes has slowed. In what could be a major blow to the regime, Israel says it killed one of Iran's top leaders, Ari Larijani. Last seen in public on Friday, Larijani had strong ties to both Moscow and Beijing and was seen as more of a pragmatist than a hardliner. The United States released this video today, which Central Command says shows strikes against targets inside Iran. It comes on the same day as the United Nations announced it is investigating the fatal strike on a primary school in Iran on the first day of this war, which killed 168 people, mostly girls. A preliminary investigation found the U.S. was likely responsible, though nothing has been proven.
Given the innocent lives that have been lost, there is a critical need for such an investigation to be done and for an independent outcome to follow.
The UN is also questioning Israel's conduct in Lebanon, saying some of its strikes there may constitute war crimes. The death toll from renewed fighting between Israel and Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group, is nearly 900, according to the health ministry. Nearly 1 million people have been displaced. We feel that someone should look at us, this man says. There has been a lot of destruction. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
Meanwhile, the U.S. president is still trying to persuade allies to send in reinforcements to secure the critical Strait of Hormuz today. Donald Trump tried to justify the war in Iran as he faced his first public defection over the conflict. With more, here is Joy Malbon in Washington.
Thank you very much for being here.
Greeting the Irish Prime Minister in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump lashed out at NATO and U.S. allies for not joining the war against Iran.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them.
As his top counterterrorism official just quit publicly. A stinging resignation. Joe Kent posted on X he could not in good conscience support the war, saying Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. A shocking surprise among the president's loyal ranks. Kent openly questioned the president's judgment.
He was weak on security. It's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
The president praised his Arab allies taking the brunt of it after most NATO nations bowed out. France's President Emmanuel Macron said, France did not choose this war. We are not taking part in it. And from Britain's Prime Minister,
we will not be drawn into the wider war.
Trump wanted their help to safeguard the Strait of Hormuz, but it's risky. With tankers on fire, Iran has blocked the critical waterway for oil, sending gas prices soaring. Trump grumbled.
Everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that, because we think it's pretty shocking.
The president's pressure campaign on allies so far coming up empty. As for his timeline, Trump said the U.S. is not ready to leave Iran yet, but will in the near future. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
Donald Trump made very clear today he'll be, quote, doing something with Cuba very soon. Nationwide blackouts have been racking the Caribbean nation for months now, and the country's economy is under crippling U.S. sanctions. Jean-Via Boschman reports what could be coming next is being nervously watched by the Cuban community here in Canada.
At Cecilia's Cuban restaurant in Montreal, owner Alexi Diaz-Arcia's thoughts are on his family plunged in the dark. I make food here while people in Cuba have so little, he says. We keep waking up at night to see if they have power, if they're okay. Dawn has brought just a glimmer of relief to Cuba, with patches of power returning to some hospitals and homes, though not all. And the collapse has cut off running water to many, and communications are spotty. Just waiting.
Waiting for
what?
For a miracle.
For a miracle. Officials warned the crumbling power network could fail again as it continues to degrade. Our food has spoiled, says 75-year-old Pedro Ramos. I'm boiling 3 pieces of chicken to try and save something to eat because the situation is really bad. This is the 3rd island-wide blackout in 4 months as Cuba's energy and economic crises deepen. American President Donald Trump said on Monday he believed he would have the honor of taking over Cuba. And today he continued to hint at imminent developments.
And we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio called for new leadership in the country. The U.S. blockade has choked off oil supplies since critical shipments from Venezuela were halted in the wake of the American attack. Cuba has announced it would open the economy, inviting those in exile to invest in businesses on the island. But Antonio Tang says he believes that's too little, too late for the government.
It is really chaotic. The Cuban government have lost totally the control of the economy.
People here continue to watch the situation closely and continue to look for ways to help the people back home. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A dazzling daylight fireball flashed across the sky over the eastern U.S. and parts of Canada today.
Oh, what the was that?
The meteor produced a fiery streak and rumbled like thunder as it broke the sound barrier. NASA says the fireball was first spotted above Lake Erie this morning. The piece of space rock was part of an asteroid weighing about 7,000 kilograms that fragmented into meteorites over parts of Ohio. Let's head back to O'Shea's where Jeff is tonight. And Jeff, has the dancing started yet?
Not yet, you know, although maybe these people will want to dance. We've got lads and lasses and leprechauns, and I'm not sure exactly where this guy fits, but Daniel Beavis, one of the co-owners of O'Shea's. You have been putting on this party for 24 years now?
It's been 24 wonderful years here in downtown Saskatoon. This is our actually 25th St. Patrick's Day.
25th St. Patrick's Day, and as a family, this goes back a long time in your family.
My grandfather had the Shamrock Room in the Baldwin Hotel back in the 40s. So we've been doing the Irish traditions for a very long time in my family.
And another tradition that you started recently is having a fundraise for the Saskatoon City Hospital Foundation. You did a breakfast this morning. Things get going here early.
We did. At 9:30, we had a lineup of people coming in where we gave them free breakfast and asked if they could donate some money to that charity. And they did, and it was wonderful and successful.
Successful, and obviously, you know, this is one of the things of being a downtown business. Is this, you know, you're always busy, but is this the busiest day of the year?
Well, there's one good thing about being an Irish pub. You know you're going to be busy one day of the year, and this is it. It is our busiest day of the year.
All right. I talked about it being a big family affair. There's lots of family here, lots of kids here. Why don't you introduce me to these people behind us?
Well, we have Jane, Olivia, Beth, and our good friend Oscar here.
All right. So this is a family affair. Hey, kids, anything else to add?
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Well, there you have it. You know what? We're having a happy St. Patrick's Day, but now it's time to do something with the weather. So let's check in our current conditions. Things are actually a pretty nice day. We talked about it being a very melty day, and it has been. 6 degrees right now in Saskatoon. Winds out of the southwest at 19. 3 in Prince Albert. Not much wind there in the Gateway City. And in the Battlefords, 10 degrees, double digits. And again, a light westerly wind. Let's take a look at Saskatoon's almanac. Today we hit 6 degrees. That's our current temperature. Oh, I think I hear some dancing. -1 is typical, 17 degrees. The records in 1905 and 2010. And the sun came up at 7:17 on the March 17th. And the sun is going to go down at 7:15. Let's take a look at a little dancing. Okay, Chantel, we'll send things back to you.
I know you want to get dancing with them, so we'll check in with you in a few minutes. Coming up, sold to the best competitor the Title I Saskatchewan Auctioneer is hoping to take.
Saskatchewan Huskies heading to the University Cup. Thursday on Your Morning, we are checking in with the men's hockey team before they head off to Atlantic Canada.
What a great day to be in downtown Saskatoon at O'Shea's. It's St. Patrick's Day. This place has been a beehive. I'm not sure if beehives are necessarily an Irish symbol, but it's been a beehive of activity all day long, and right now, no difference, and certainly no exception. Let's take a look at some weather. That's what I'm here for, and we can tell you that on some parts of the country, like out in Atlantic Canada, where there's a whole lot of Irish heritage, it was kind of a rainy day, but that rain is moving up and onto Newfoundland, where they're having a soggy St. Patrick's Day, but that's moving off the coast. Our other coast, a whole lot of rain hitting British Columbia because of this atmospheric river, and a lot of the warm air is cascading over the Rockies into Alberta and Saskatchewan. We've had some very warm conditions. Let's take a look at what we've got going on. We can tell you that, just to recap, we're at 6 degrees in Saskatoon, 3 in Prince Albert, 10 in the Battlefords, and not particularly windy in PA and the Battlefords, a little more wind in Saskatoon. Now on to the hot and cold spot in the province. Today it was real warm. Guess where? Maple Creek, 17 big degrees. It might even be warmer tomorrow. Collins Bay, minus 16 degrees. When you consider that most recently, the cold temperatures up north have been in the minus 40s, that's a real change. Currently at 6 degrees in Lloydminster, 10 in Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 9 in both Regina and Estevan, and just 2 degrees right now in Yorkton, but it's on the plus side. Taking a closer look at central parts of the province and the northern grain belt, temperatures ranging from a somewhat chilly minus 3 in Hudson Bay and minus 2 at Nipawin. It warms up to 13 in Kindersley and Rosetown, 6 degrees in Meadow Lake, and 5 in Wynyard. Let's take a look up north. Up north, we've got ourselves temperatures that are very mild, minus 11 in Stony Rapids, minus 13 in Collins Bay, but it warms up to minus 4 in Buffalo Narrows, minus 11 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls. And down south, well, it's roasty and it is toasty down south. We've got ourselves 15 degrees in Maple Creek, a number of locations in double digits. And look at this, the coldest it gets is 2, but it's on the plus side, but 3 in Last Mountain Provincial Park, 4 in Indian Head and Broadview. Taking a look at our future cast, we can show you that we've got ourselves some messy weather. But it's in strips. We've got a series of lows coming through the province. We don't anticipate a lot in the way of accumulation, and so it looks as though some of that rain and snow might hit Saskatoon and Prince Albert as it sort of slashes in and around the Yellowhead. Moving on to, we don't expect it to be real windy though. Moving on to our weather watch, just want to point out there are wind warnings in southern Alberta if your travels are taking you there. And now let's take a look and see what we've got going on in terms of our detailed weather. Starting off with the north, temperatures are on the minus side, but in the minus single digits with cloudy skies for east central Saskatchewan, rather west central Saskatchewan. Some real warm temperatures there. You can see 12 degrees in Kindersley. Down in the southwest, oh my goodness, it's getting real warm down there. Down in the southwestern part of the province, 18 degrees for Maple Creek. Now let's take a look at the southeastern part of the province, where our temperatures are also going to be on the mild side. Double-digit temperatures for Moose Jaw and Estevan, and into east central Saskatchewan. The temperatures are a little cooler there, and there's a chance of some precipitation in some areas. Now on to the Battlefords. Temperatures dropping down to minus 3 tonight, with a chance of some freezing rain. Be careful of that. A good chance of rain or snow tomorrow, a high of 4. And the 7-day outlook for the Battlefords, as you can see, we've got ourselves, temperatures are staying on the plus side until Saturday when they cool off, but then they bounce back on Sunday. For Prince Albert and area, tonight's overnight temperature, along with some inclement weather tonight, and then a 40% chance of flurries tomorrow with a high of 1. The 7-day outlook for Prince Albert, there you go, 4 degrees on Thursday, and then cooling off, as you see, starting on Saturday with a chance of flurries. And finally for Saskatoon, tonight temperatures are dropping down to not really chilly, but a manageable minus 2, 30% chance of flurries, a risk of freezing rain, some fog patches, then a chance of showers tomorrow, a high of 3. And the long-range forecast, temperatures staying on the mild side, at least until we get to Saturday, when it drops off to minus 4, but it bounces back to minus 1 on Sunday, and starting off the work week at 2 degrees. So that's how things are shaping up with our 7-day forecast for Saskatoon. And I'll send things back to Chantel.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, still to come on CTV News, the call of the competition. A Saskatchewan man hopes to sell his skills for a chance at a world title. An auctioneer originally from Saskatchewan is taking his skills to the World Auctioneer Championships. Virginia DeClute has more on his bid for a global title.
A Saskatchewan man is heading down south to claim the title of a world champion in auctioneering.
So I was second last year, and I was third in 2014. So it's a very, very, very difficult contest to win, but I'm really gunning for it, hoping that 2026 is my year.
This will be his 11th year competing on the world stage. It's a two-day event held in South Dakota in June. On the first day, competitors have to answer 3 questions for 25% of the total points.
Some of the questions are simple, like, what made you become an auctioneer? What would you do if you were a crown champion? What would you talk to an intercity group of school kids about if they asked about beef?
On the second day, competitors do what they do best, sell cattle.
Most of us will sell anywhere, could be 200 head, could be 500 head, but there'll be a total somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 head on the day.
Jack has been preparing for this moment for most of his life.
I started selling when I was 9 years old. I sold my first $1 million sale when I was 12 years old, and started working full-time when I was 16 years old in Yorkton, actually.
He then started competing.
That's how I got my first job offer, was competing in the Grain Millers Harvest Showdown auctioneer competition, which was held in Yorkton many years ago, and just moved along through all the competitions around Canada. Was fortunate enough to win all of those.
Being a top auctioneer takes skill.
Knows the product that they're selling, has a good rhythmical chant that can move along the sale, has clarity so that everybody knows where the prices are.
Champions represent over 800 markets in North America for the entire year.
Virginia DeClute, CTV News, Verdun.
When we come back, a special space to care for kids in Saskatoon and brewing up a successful expansion in the city.
Crank up the U2 or, I suppose, the Irish Rovers, any Irish song. All I can say is it's time for the rural forecast. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on. As you can see, we've got ourselves a chance of some flurries up in Meadow Lake, 1 degree. Temperatures for the most part are on the plus side, but boy, what a jump from Melfort, where it's cloudy tomorrow, and -1 to Kindersley, where it's 11 on the plus side. Outlook at 9, Wynyard at 1. So some places dealing with a little bit of flurry or precipitation. Let's take a look down towards the Trans-Canada Highway, and things really get roasty and toasty in Maple Creek, 18 degrees, 16 with windy conditions. It's very windy in Alberta today, so that some of that wind comes our way. 16 in Rockland tomorrow, 17 in Coronach, but things do cool off as we get towards the eastern side of the province. Carlisle at 6.5, and let's take a quick look at Norquay, where we expect some showers, 3 degrees tomorrow, and winds out of the north at 15, and of course Norquay is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from Saskatown.
Greetings, everyone. Métis Nation Saskatchewan says it's nearing the finishing line on a new childcare centre in Saskatoon. As Stacey Hine tells us, the centre will help meet the need for childcare spaces while also connecting children with Métis culture.
This new childcare centre is designed to be more than a place for children to spend the day. Métis Nation Saskatchewan says it will also help connect the next generation with Métis culture.
So this is a licensed childcare centre which is going to support families in being able to go to work, being able to go to school, being able to do things that they need to do and not have to worry about their children being in not only a safe space but a culturally affirming space.
The 90-space centre, located in Saskatoon's Kensington neighbourhood, was designed by a local firm, AODBT Architecture and Interior Design.
It's just a beautiful building. It's based on an old kind of like trapper's cabin design, so you'll see that incorporated into the architecture.
Andrea Fisk says the project has been 3 years in the making, and they're now nearing the finish line. Métis Nation President Glenn McCallum says securing funding and resources over the years has been a challenge, but one the organization has been working to overcome.
It's been a struggle to be able to connect
connect with the right governments to be able to get the right funding, to be able to have our a structured government like Métis Nation government, to be able to have the right resources, to have the right staff, and to be able to build. So that's what we've been doing.
Fiss says the new center will help meet a need for childcare spaces in the community, but demand remains high.
We could probably build 3, 4, 5 90-space child care centers, and there would still be a need.
That demand is already showing, with families asking when they can sign up.
We have people reaching out saying, when are you opening? Can we get on the wait list? And so we're still working through that timeline a little bit, still a little bit of construction, last minute things going on. But the wait list, we're going to open up for a wait list very soon.
The center is expected to open in late spring. A similar Métis childcare center is also under construction in Prince Albert, with plans underway for another in Regina. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
The brew is now flowing at Great Western Brewery's expansion in downtown Saskatoon. The taps were turned on last week at the company's $25 million expansion. The company was started by 16 friends just over 35 years ago, which is how the company's flagship product, Original 16, got its name. To mark 3.5 decades in business, the company embarked on the expansion. And while barley is a key ingredient in what Great Western makes, they say their community commitment is an important part of their recipe to success.
From 16 guys that risked everything 35 years ago, it gives us the opportunity to continue to improve on that legacy and build on that legacy. So we're excited to be doing that. The ownership group now that owns this brewery is really committed to Saskatoon and Saskatchewan, and that's why we've made this investment.
The brewery has deep roots in Saskatoon. It was built in 1927 and established as Hub City Brewing Company. Coming up, we reconnect with Jeff for a final look at St. Paddy's Day celebrations in downtown Saskatoon.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the Beauty Bar.
Well, let's head back to O'Shea's to check in with Jeff one last time. And Jeff, the party's going to be going all night.
It's been going all day, and it's going to be going all night. And hey, we've already got some dancers in behind us. Claire Middleton with me, a playwright, theater professional, but also she married into this business. You're married to Danny Beavis, and so is this a crazy day every year in your household?
Every year, it's like almost as good as Christmas, maybe better.
Do you know the name of the dance troupe behind us?
I believe they're River City.
Fair enough then. Just before we go here, I want you to tee up the fact that you have one of the 5 plays that is premiering at Greystone Theatre for celebrating their 80th anniversary. What's your play about?
My play is about, it's sort of storytelling, and it's about sort of justifying our place in the world. It's more fun than it sounds.
Oh no, it sounds like a laugh riot. Claire, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been it's always great being here at O'Shea's. And by the way, the green velvet outfit is smashing.
Thank you. It's actually all Danny's doing. He really likes green velvet.
Well, you've told me too much already. You've told me far too much. Once again, break a leg with the show. Congratulations on the play, and thank you for having us here at O'Shea's.
Thank you for coming. It's great to have you every year.
All right, it's fun for us, and I'll send the fun back to Chantel in the studio.
All right, well, we'll let you go to have some fun. Thanks so much for watching. That'll do it for us tonight. Happy St. Patrick's Day.